Aubrey is with us in Phoenix. Hi, Aubrey. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
I have a 19-year-old daughter that has had a lot of personality changes lately. We help her a lot. She lives at home, and we supply a lot of her finances. She does have a job. We pay for her cell phone, medical expenses, food, car expenses, school, books, things like that. She pays for most of her auto insurance and gas.
Mm-hmm.
She has a boyfriend that she's had for like 9 months. They're in love and infatuated with each other. She recently came home and said that she was going to go on a trip with him out of state and stay in a hotel together. We said, absolutely not. That's not okay and not what we believe. And she has said, well, I'm an adult and I get to make my own decisions, so we're going to go.
Anthony told his dad that one time. You told your dad that one time. What happened when you told your dad that?
I didn't come back home.
You ended up living in your car.
Living in my car, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't go very well with us either. I said if that is how it's going to go, there's going to be some significant changes financially.
There's going to be an address change.
So,
yeah.
Well, I guess that's why I'm calling you to gain your guidance of whether we're on the right track. So my thought was she needs to get a new cell phone plan, no longer piggybacking on us. She needs to find her own auto insurance.
She needs to move out.
That's just the start.
She needs to move out.
Yeah.
You don't stay under my roof unless you go by my rules.
Yeah, and new cell phone plan, Aubrey. She's already making the money, so she's not going to really feel that pain. Okay, so she'll take over that. Right now, what I think, and I'm not a father, so I'll let Dave speak into this more often. But one thing I do appreciate about my father is he made it very clear: you're going to respect the rules of this house. The moment you break those rules, you can go do you, but you're going to do you outside of my house.
That's not mean. Why do you have that belief? Because you believe it's what's best for her. It's not affecting you if she sleeps around.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's affecting her.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you love her, and you're smart enough to know this is not a good plan.
Yeah.
And so you're just saying, darling, this is not a good plan, and we love you too much to endorse your stupidity.
And let me tell you this much. Doing that, okay, when she turns 29, when she turns 35, she's going to really appreciate you for staying true and helping her become wiser. Because at the age of 36, my father is my main guy. Because he kicked me out of the house because I didn't want to listen. That grew me up a lot quicker. Now, everything my father tells me, well, I don't do 100% of everything he tells me, but I sure do listen to his wisdom and his guidance because my father, I know he loves me and he wants the best for me. But if you keep letting her get away with these kind of things, she's never going to grow and mature into the woman that she can be.
And by the way, when she made this announcement, she knew it wasn't going to go well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you just sprung a new set of rules on her. She was raised a certain way, and she knew she was going perpendicular to that. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's very, very hard, darling.
Yeah.
Very, very hard to set boundaries. It's very, very hard to love people well. It's much easier to be a wuss and just let people do whatever they want to themselves while you pay the bill. It's easier in the short term. In the long term, their lives get destroyed. And so I'm not going to go with it. I'm going to be the big girl, the big daddy, the big mommy, and say, sweetie, can't live here if you do that. You got to move. You got to pay all your own bills. Go be you. Go back to that caller. Sweet mom is worried about her sweet daughter who's wanting to run around and do things that the value system doesn't line up. We get a lot of these questions, and you do because you speak a lot on college campuses and a lot with moms and dads of teens and of young adults, 20-something, early 20s, that kind of a thing. So you get this question a lot.
I really do. I really do, Dave. And here's one thing I go back to. I go back to the story, and you know the story of when my father and my mother, I was a little kid, and I used to always touch the stove. And my mom would always like protect me from touching the stove. Well, one day my father he saw me going towards the stove to touch it. My mom was coming around the corner, and he told my mom, no, he has to touch the stove. My father went and grabbed a thing of butter, put the butter in his hand, and then he followed me right to the stove. And as soon as I got real close and I felt the heat, I screamed, and he looked at me. He put the butter on my hands, and he said, you see why we tell you not to touch the stove? To this day, Dave, I wear gloves every time I cook because I am scared.
You still don't touch the stove. That's good. That's good, Anthony.
I don't want to touch the stove. But the thing is, my father, he knew the only way Anthony was going to learn his lesson is if we allowed him to get real close to that heat. He didn't let me touch it, but I got close enough to where I felt the heat. And I think that parents sometimes, especially with this younger generation, they're scared to let them feel the heat. If they want to make the decision that's going to impact their future, and when you're trying to tell them to do something otherwise that will protect their future, you need to let them feel the heat a little bit.
Yeah. But the discussion comes down to, this is not a bunch of rules that mom and dad put in place just because we're cosmic killjoys. The bottom line is that we got one thing in mind here, and that's you.
Yeah.
And you're good, and what's good for you. If you are going to go against what we value and what our principles are, you cannot stay under this house, because that is us actually participating in you harming yourself.
Yes. Yes.
And so if I give you a free place to stay while you're doing cocaine, I'm participating in you harming yourself. I didn't buy the cocaine. I didn't say the cocaine was okay. I said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But you have a free place to live, because I don't have the heart to throw my own son out.
Oh, man, listen.
And so he's doing cocaine in your basement, or won't work and get a job, or is doing whatever other thing out there that's a misbehavior that's bringing harm to him or her, because you, as the mom and dad, won't say no.
No. And that's the thing. You don't have the heart.
That's tough love. No, that's just love.
No, that's real love. Because if you don't have the heart to kick him out, if he is doing cocaine, for an example, so are you saying you have the heart to let him kill himself?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
No.
An enabler is always assisting people in harming themselves.
Yes,
so when you enable your daughter to do things that you don't believe are good for her, you are assisting in that.
Yes.
And if you're financially supporting her for one penny in any way while she's doing all of that, then you are paying for the behavior that's going to bring them harm.
Yeah.
And that's not real love.
It's not.
And so, but I got to tell you, man, it's a tough thing, because when a 19-year-old bows up, they bow up.
Oh, trust me, I know.
I know. You ended up homeless, sleeping in your car. How long did you sleep in your car?
6 months.
Yeah.
6 months. And I didn't go back home. And it was hard for my father and my mother, because my mom didn't know I was homeless. Now, my father knew, but my mom didn't know. She thought I was leaving with some friends. But my father knew the only way this boy is going to become a man is if I put him in that position. But my father knew that eventually I would come back home, and he didn't allow me to come back home until I said, I'm sorry, and I'm ready to become a young man. And I became the man I am today because of what my father did.
Yeah, because of that process.
Yes.
And I've seen you guys together for the time you've been here. You guys are tight.
Yes, very, very close.
And so, the story doesn't always end up that way.
It doesn't.
Sometimes it's a separation for life.
Yeah.
But 19-year-olds, I mean, not all of them, but a percentage of them, when they turn that thing on and bow up, you just have to go, as for me and my house, this is what we do. And it doesn't matter if you're 14, 12, 2, or 29. My roof, my rules.
Right.
This is not hard.
It's not hard.
And that's not being mean. It's not a dinosaur, and I don't really care about that, Dave. I don't listen to you for that. I'm 19, and I'm watching on YouTube, and you need to go back to talking about money. No, you just need to change the freaking channel, because I'm going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. This is my freaking show.
It's the Dave Ramsey
you
show.
little twerp. And so that's how that works. So, I mean, seriously, it's the same thing. So my house, my rules.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And so it's okay if you don't want to participate.
Right.
I can't make you do stuff. You're a legal adult.
Yes.
But I can make you not be here.
Right.
I can make myself love you so much that I'm not going. And this is the conversation you have, honey.
Yes.
We love you so much that we can't go along with this.
Yeah.
We love you too much. So we're gonna make a federal case out of this. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
and
hard.
by the way, young man that's wanting to take her off somewhere, Dad be having a discussion with him.
See, the conversation wouldn't even got there because the father would have got to him first. That can't be my daughter. You going where? Hold on a minute. Yeah, go ahead and talk to mom. I'm gonna go to the store real quick, babe.
I got some stuff to take care of here.
Heck yeah.
My daughters were, Dad, when they were little kids, Dad, all the boys in the youth group are scared of you. I said, that's good.
Yep.
It's good. Keeps away two things you don't want: jerks and wimps.
Yes. No, listen.
If they're wimpy, you don't want them, and if they're jerks and they got the wrong idea, you don't want them. So it keeps that away. So I'm your natural filter. You ought to just say thank you.
Yes.
And so then, and we used to say, we got great sons-in-law. I mean, Winston, Bill.
Yes.
I used to say, I hit the son-in-law lottery, hit the daughter-in-law lottery. No, I didn't. I taught them how to pick. And I showed them what dumb looks like because I run off dumb a couple times.
Exactly.
No, dumb, don't pull up in the driveway and be honking a horn unless you're delivering a pizza, buddy. That's not how this works. So this is my princess. You're about to come in here and have a discussion while I'm cleaning my gun.
Oh, man.
And so it changes the whole thing. You got to set some standards, right?
You really do.
And we joke around about all this stuff, but the process is love, and then all of this melds into the financial because it always comes down to, what am I paying for?
Dave, some of the millennials listening to you right now are thanking God that you don't have kids in this generation.
They're thanking God I'm not their daddy. That's what they're thanking God of. But yeah. I'm a dinosaur. I understand. I'm old school. But you know what? There's more of me out there than people realize.
No, for real.
They're everywhere, all over America.
But I have to say, I've been guilty of just pulling up on the outside. I didn't blow the horn, but I did text him. I did text us, hey, babe, I'm outside.
Hey, I'm outside. Yeah, don't be texting either.
I'm just saying.
Use your voice and your feet. Get up, walk in, meet the dad, man. Meet the parents.
Oh, man, that would be scary, boy.
That's good.
On the first date?
He keeps you straight, man.
Yeah, well, you need to get an Uber.
There's people tied to all this.
You need to get an Uber. Meet me at the house. Meet me over here because I can't meet Daddy.
It's family. It's family. Family standing behind that girl. I'm just saying, buddy. That's how that works. It changes everything.
No, it really
changes how their lives turn out when they're 40.
Yes, sir.
And it changes the thing. It changes the process. And none of us are perfect at it.
Right.
And my daughters will tell you I embarrassed them and all this, and I did.
Yeah.
And if I had to do over, I'd probably be a little more gentle.
Yeah.
Maybe. Now I'm kind of getting where I don't give a rip. I probably wouldn't be gentle. But
I asked my dad, would he, if we had to go back to that season, would he still kick me out? He said yes. The only difference is I would have brought you back in sooner. That's the only difference. He said I would have said, all right, you've been out here for 2 months, 3 months, come on back. 6 months, it got kind of rough between him and my mom when she did eventually find out. And so he was like, but no, you had to go. But I would have changed that a little bit just to bring you back in.
It would have had a softness to it or a mercy to it, but still had the action.
But I was the oldest, so it was like he didn't. That we all were learning at the time, So I think my mistakes helped my younger brother when he was going through his rough season.
Living in a car is not a good idea,
right?
So. Well, this all comes back to, this whole thing of boundaries, and boundaries are intersected with the whole money discussion over and over.
Yes.
So you don't have a right to your parents' money.
Yeah.
You don't have an entitlement to it.
That's true.
You don't have an entitlement to their inheritance. It's their choice.